Look around. Isn't this a beautiful place? And isn't this a beautiful area? And it did take so long, and it was such a long-standing vision of the city council and the city. And we're finally here for the final chapter. And we're here to pay tribute, I think, to Norma Herzog and her groundbreaking role in our city. And I was talking to Arlene Schaefer, who's here. Where's Arlene? Arlene, right in front. And Arlene was our first female planning commissioner. Arlene. And she had an insight, and she was on council with Norma Herzog when she became the first mayor. And I liked your insight that you said is not only was Norma Herzog our first mayor, but she had to be a good mayor, an excellent mayor, a perfect mayor. Because without that, there wouldn't have been a second mayor, who, by the way, is Arlene. And third in line is Mary Hornbuckle, who's also here. Mary Hornbuckle. And we would not have had our first directly elected mayor, Katrina Foley, who you'll hear from later. Nor would we have had Andrea Marr or Arliss Reynolds. And the other day, I gave the state of the city, and I said that the city is better than ever. And I will say that the city is better than ever, but in large part, it's better than ever because of Norma Herzog and because of the service of our female public servants and leaders in our town. And Katrina was one of the main advocates for naming this building, this beautiful building, after Norma Herzog. And I thought that that was a wonderful thing, and I supported it all the way. And as I think about it, and I think of all the little girls, and there's some little girls around here, right in this room, that are gonna walk by, and they're gonna say to their parents, who's Norma Herzog? And they're gonna say, she is the first female mayor of the city of Costa Mesa, where you live. And if they dig a little deeper, they'll learn about Arlene and Mary and Arliss and Andrea and Katrina. And that'll give them confidence to do whatever they can do in life, because Costa Mesa is a place of a history of great female leadership. And in keeping with that, I'm honored now to introduce Lorianne Farrell Harrison, who is our first female city manager. She's going to be our MC. Thank you very much. Lorianne, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Stevens. Thank you to everyone who's here today. This is such an amazing day for all of us. We're just so excited to welcome all of you into this incredible space, this incredible place that represents the legacy of the first woman mayor. And I have to tell you that as the first woman city manager, I feel this real special closeness to this event, because being the first in anything is always very difficult, and I can only imagine how difficult it must have been for her. But it's on her shoulders that many of us stand, and so it's such an honor and privilege to be here today and to be the city manager during this exciting time, and to be able to unveil this incredible facility and, of course, the park playground thereafter. And so thank you for being here. We're just so happy to have you, and really hope that you enjoy today's festivities. I just wanted to share a little bit about what today will be like. You know, we'll be able to talk about the history of Norma and her legacy, what she brought to Costa Mesa. We hope to have her also participate later, if possible, if technology permits. So let's keep our hands crossed, or our fingers crossed. But first, I also wanted to just share how this project is the culmination of a $36 million project that has spanned many years. And so it's part of a great campus where we have the Donald Dungan Library, of course, and we have this community center, we have the new Lions Park playground, and then, of course, we have our 1 acre special event park as well. And so it all comes in beautifully, tying together, and we're just so excited to have the opportunity to share it all with you today. There are a lot of people that we need to thank for the completion of this project. Of course, nothing of this magnitude gets done without an enormous team and a lot of effort. And so I just really wanted to thank our Public Services Director, Raja Setharaman, because Raja is just such a special person. He has had such an incredible workload during the last 4 years and then some. Of course, doing all of this during a pandemic wasn't easy. There were logistics challenges as well with the supply chain being disrupted because of the pandemic, and a lot of the supplies and materials that you would need for construction not getting here on time. Some of the tiles that you'll see on the building came from Italy. There were times when we couldn't have that delivered, all of these complications, but Raja and his team have done an incredible job so we could all enjoy this facility today. And Raja is a very humble person. He's very modest. Never really boasts or talks much about his accomplishments. And so I just really wanted to take the time to share how much we appreciate you, Raja, as you have left an incredible legacy here, along with your staff, all of the staff of the Public Services Department, and so many other departments in the city that participated, of course, fire as well, and of course, development services and finance assisting with the funds. But just thank you for everything that you do to make our community so much more alive and so much better. And when you see the playground, you're really going to enjoy that as well. And so, Raja, thank you. I know your lovely wife is here today. Thank you for your support. I know that having a job like Raja's takes a lot of time away from family. And so thank you for your support as a spouse of one of our department heads. We know that he spends many late evenings bringing items to council like this one. And so thank you for your support and your leadership as it pertains to letting us have so much of Raja's time, and thank you. And God bless your family as well. And I'd also like to thank Jason Minter and his talented staff. He's new to the city, so hopefully some of you have met Jason. He's over here. And he's our new Parks and Community Services Director. He came in at a difficult time. Our interview was via Zoom. And so I didn't really ever see him for the first time until he showed up on his first day. And for a while, we didn't see each other even after that because of COVID. And he's just hit the ground running and starting to get all of our programs back up and having the community engaged once again. And so we're really thankful for you, Jason, and all the contributions that you've made in your short time here. And so please get to know Jason better as well. And we'd also like to thank the architectural genius of Johnson and Ferraro, and to the contractors, Tovey Schultz, who were also obviously extremely instrumental in the project and making this beautiful facility what you see today. There are a few other people that we need to thank who were very instrumental in making this all happen. A special shout out to our very own Assembly Member, Cotty Petrie-Norris, who we'll hear from in a little bit further in the presentation. But I wanted to mention how Assemblymember Petrie-Norris secured $1 million for us to be able to complete the project. Some of the financing was bonded, some of it was with cash, some of it was cobbling together other funds, but finally we were able to get it done in large part because of that contribution, that $1 million contribution. And so we know that grabbing funds from the state isn't always easy, so we're glad that you took the money and ran and brought it back home. And so thank you for that. Your legacy is here as well. And then of course, our former mayor, the first elected mayor, first woman to be elected mayor, and OC Supervisor Katrina Foley, also extremely instrumental in this project, and we'll hear from her in a little bit as well. It was her brainchild to actually name the community center after Norma Hertzog, and so it's just wonderful that we have this legacy of women in the city that are achieving great things and acknowledging the contributions of women in the past. So even though we were slowed down by the pandemic last year, we still kept on going so that we would have a beautiful event for you today. We know that this project will revitalize and will transform what's happening in the West Side and bringing families closer together to be able to actually participate and to partake in so many of the amenities that we've put together here. Just the nexus between the community center, of course, the playground, and the library just ties it all beautifully together so that folks can come from all over the city, but especially here on the west side, just more opportunities for families to recreate, to learn, to read books, and to bring families together in really beautiful venue that's just extraordinary and state-of-the-art. One of the most important features of this building is that it is LEED certified, and we're so happy about that. It's LEED Gold, and so we're one of only 4 cities in the entire country, that have LEED Gold certification. And so we're super happy about that. And of course, the only one in Orange County, so make sure that you mention that to your friends from other cities. We're LEED Gold certified. I don't know about you. And so with that, I'd like to bring up 5th District Council Member Arliss Reynolds to say a few words about what the project means for her in this district. But I also wanted to mention that today is Arliss's cumpleaños. So we're gonna have to sing, Arliss. Okay. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Come on, no, I'm just kidding. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arliss. Happy birthday to you.
Well, it's nice to speak after Lorianne because I don't have to adjust the mic at all. Oftentimes, it's a different case. Wow, it is, I think everyone in this room can just feel the joy of this day, July 17th, the best date of the year. I've been looking forward to this date my whole life. And so thank you to our staff for scheduling this amazing event on July 17th. For many reasons, today brings me lots and lots of joy. I wanted to thank our city team, Raja, Lorianne, our mayor for welcoming us, everyone for being here today. It's a I guess, final chapter in this big project, but really a kickoff to reopening Costa Mesa, a kickoff to the West Side restoration efforts that we launched when several of us were elected, my colleague from the West Side as well, Manuel Chavez. I think of it as definitely a closing of the door on a really big project, but opening of many new possibilities. And also as I've been sitting in this room, I've just been flooded with so many memories of my childhood. So it's also kind of a rebirth and a restoration of the vibrancy that we know so well here on the West Side and that we can't wait to get back to. I want to share a little bit of sort of my memories and the history of this space. Those who have been in Costa Mesa a long time know that this space that we're in was our first library here in Costa Mesa. And I'm not quite sure I'll get this right, but I've been looking around the room, and I think it was about here where some of the librarians had their offices, and I would come every summer and get my reading card, and my brother and I would check out like 50 books at a time and run home and race to see who could read as many books as possible. I think I saw my dad in the room somewhere. He was the one who would bring us here. He didn't let us have a TV, but he brought us to the library so we could read all summer long. It was in one of those rooms back behind that wall that I was first introduced to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which became, of course, one of my favorite series. I still have the whole set on my bookshelf now. And it's in the space that you're all sitting now, where we had open tables where I would spend hours just reading, coloring, probably doing some Mad Libs, just anything. This was a place where people from anywhere in Costa Mesa could come and be and spend time together. This campus, yes, behind this building is where I and many others learned to swim. Took me a few times, but many students are still learning to swim today. It was the original community center where I attended many birthday parties, graduation parties, quinceañeras, and of course, once a year for many years of my childhood, the whole city would come to the Lions Park campus for our annual fish fry. And I'm so excited that we have that to look forward to in the future as well. Yes. So as I sit in this space and I'm flooded with those memories, and I think about this project and the library that we got to open 2 years ago, the airplane park that we get to reopen pretty soon, Raja's already thinking about other projects to keep transforming some of the spaces over here. I think of this whole campus as a community center. It's a center where our children, teens, families, seniors who can walk over from some of our senior centers can come and just be, where people from all over the city are welcome to spend time, to read, to meet each other, to connect. And my goodness, don't we need that now? To be able to come back and meet each other and spend time together. So today's a very special day, final chapter in a project, but really a rebirth of our vibrant West Side, kickoff to the city reopening, kickoff to our West Side Restoration Project, and I'm so thankful to be able to welcome you all here to enjoy this day, my birthday. You taking it back? Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Reynolds. So let's talk a little bit about Norma, and then we will hear from a couple of people. In 1973, a former teacher and owner of 2 local preschools made an offhand comment to her family that she was considering a run for city council. She wasn't that serious about it, but her family thought otherwise and vowed to back her, a political unknown who ran and was elected to the city council in 1974. She would eventually serve 3 terms. In 1977, she was named the mayor by her council colleagues, becoming the first woman to do so. Fast forward to 2018, and the city council, at the urging of then Mayor Katrina Foley, voted to name this new community center in Norma's honor. And so right now I'd like to invite both Assemblymember Claudia Petrie-Norris and our OC Supervisor Katrina Foley to make a few remarks about what this event means to them today, given the contributions that they've made in the naming and also in providing additional funds for the project.
Well, thank you, Lorianne, and good morning, Costa Mesa. It is an absolute pleasure to be able to join you this morning to celebrate the opening of this beautiful community center and phenomenal community space, and also to be able to celebrate the legacy of Norma Hertzog. I was first introduced to this project shortly after I was elected, also as a political unknown. So I was elected in 2018. I ran for the state assembly, and shortly after I was elected, sat down with then Mayor Foley and the entire city council to talk about your vision for the restoration and revitalization of this space on the west side, this space that for so long had been blighted. And I instantly knew that I wanted to be part of bringing this vision to reality. I'm the mom of 2 small, active boys. I know how important open spaces and playgrounds and play spaces and community centers are for our kids and are for our entire community. And as Lorianne shared in the 2019-2020 budget, was thrilled to be able to secure $1 million in funding to help move this project forward. And just thrilled to be able to be here with all of you today to see this project come to fruition and to see it come to spectacular fruition. So on behalf of the California State Assembly, I want to present this certificate of recognition to congratulate the City of Costa Mesa and to thank Lorianne, the City Council, Raja, and everyone who has been part of making this a reality. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, I am just giddy. I cannot stop smiling. I am so thrilled to be here today and to see this space come to life. Just taking a moment while Kadi was speaking and looking up at this amazing architecture. We had an amazing team to really have a vision to take what was a very cluttered space filled with shelves and desks and tables, and to see that it could have an opportunity to host many people in a way that's, I think, going to create lots of memories, many quinceañeras and birthday parties, and I didn't know it was your birthday, happy birthday, Arliss, and community events. I hope next year at this time, I'm here for the State of the City, right here in our own Norma Hertzog Community Center. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So when Norma first got elected, I was 6 years old. But, I want to make sure that credit is due where it is deserved. Because while many of us are the voices of the items that get approved, and we're the ones that help to make it happen, it is because of so many others behind the scenes. And I want to give credit to former Mayor Mary Hornbuckle for really pushing to name this center after Norma Herzog. Thank you, Mary. It was Mary who was on the phone with me saying, we've got to get this center named. We have to do it while Norma is alive, because, we name buildings after people after they've passed, and we don't take the time to recognize them while they are alive. So thank you, Mary, for pushing us. And Norma, if you're watching, we love you. Thank you for serving our community so well. Thank you for providing a vision that has carried on. For those of you who don't know, we've had 8 women mayors in the city of Costa Mesa, I being the last. We've had 11 women on the Costa Mesa City Council. And so hoping we have more buildings named after our women leaders. This is the only building named after a woman in the city of Costa Mesa, the public building. So we've got some work to do, but this is a great start. And I'm not going to say anything more. I'm just so excited about this day, and I'm super excited to see Carol still here in the front row. Carol was when I first got on the Planning Commission, Carol worked for the city, and it's great to see you here, Carol. Okay, so I have a certificate for the city of Costa Mesa. On behalf of the 2nd District of the County of Orange, I'm overjoyed, and that is an understatement, to award this certificate of recognition for the Norma Herzog Community Center. As Costa Mesa's first woman mayor, Norma Herzog's passion and encouragement for civic engagement has led many Costa Mesa residents to serve in our community. The new Norma Herzog Community Center is a fitting legacy for our previous mayor, as it will continue her passion of encouraging civic engagement. And really, Norma, she was responsible for so many projects in our city: senior housing, the South Coast Repertory, so many long-lasting initiatives that her legacy will not be forgotten, and now her name will never be forgotten in Costa Mesa. So, we already thanked Raja, but I want to take a moment to really recognize the work of our public services department in making this happen. It is incredible that we were able to continue to cobble the funding, continue to keep things on track, dealing with all of the unexpected things, COVID. And so, Raja, could you and your team come up here, because I'd like to recognize you as well. On behalf On behalf of the 2nd District of the County of Orange, I'm honored to recognize the City of Costa Mesa Public Works Department on the opening of the new Lions Park Playground, which we're going to see in a minute. Thanks to the grant and partnership with Assemblywoman Cotty Petrie Norris, the community is finally receiving a new playground. Lions Park is a West Side Costa Mesa landmark, and the aeronautical theme pays tribute to the past as we embrace the future. I look forward to hearing about future generations of Costa Mesa residents making new memories in this interactive playground. And I also have the same recognition for our Parks Department, so Community Recreation Services, if you could come up as well. Going to be responsible for making sure that this park and this whole center is just filled with people and activity and love every day in Costa Mesa.
Thank you, Supervisor Foley, for acknowledging staff. That's always very special. I also wanted to give an opportunity. We got a little out of order with the presentation of the certificates, but that was amazing, and thank you for that. They'll be prominently displayed in our offices. So I just wanted to give the Office of Michelle Steele, our Congresswoman, and also Senator Dave Min an opportunity to make a few remarks if you'd like.
Thank you all. I'll keep it short and sweet. On behalf of Senator Dave Min, I just want to say that it's an honor to be here in the presence of such strong women and such strong community. Goes to show it took community to build this, and in a time like the one we're emerging out of during the pandemic, spaces for community to come together are more important than ever. So thank you to the city, thank you to everyone who helped put this together. It's an honor to be here. And on behalf of Senator Min and the California State Senate, we have a certificate of recognition for the City of Costa Mesa today. Thank you.
Good morning. It's my honor to be here. Let me step back. It's my honor to be here representing the office of Congresswoman Steele. And I would like to give a quick acknowledgement to our interns who work hard on every day, and I've got two of them here with me, Saba and Jose. They work very hard in our office to help meet the needs of our constituents, but I just want to say that we share in your joy and celebration of this momentous occasion. And the Congresswoman's office would like to acknowledge the essential work that both the City of Costa Mesa has performed over the last year, particularly in their resilience in dealing with and overcoming the obstacles posed by the pandemic. And so it's my honor to present to the city this congressional certificate recognizing and celebrating your vision, persistence, and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you to our incredible elected officials that give us so much support and make sure that we get the funding that we need to have projects such as this one. And they're fighting our battles at every level of government for us every day. So thank you for their participation. I just wanted to call Raja up really quickly before we show a short video of Norma, just so that he could make a few remarks and acknowledge his team as well. Raja?
Thank you, Lorianne. Thank you all for coming. So parks make life better. What a great way to demonstrate that today. So more than 4 years ago, on March 28th of 2017, we had a historic joint meeting between City Council, Planning Commission, and Parks Commission, where you took a bold decision to unanimously approve this project. This is the largest public works project in the city's history, $36 million. Now, 4 years later, I'm proud to report that we completed the project on time and on budget. So this grand opening is a culmination of actually 6 years of work by a team from many departments in the city. We hired a renowned architect, Johnson Favreau, to do the design of this project, this one and the library. And what used to be the old library is now converted into this beautiful space that'll have celebrations, gatherings, meetings for years to come. So it's an amazing space. two visuals, as we mentioned, is the construction contractor. So I want to add that for this one, this is yet another project where the city received the LEED Gold certification. We had one for the library and we had one for the fire station before. So we are on a roll here with sustainability. So I want to thank Arash Rahimian. He was the project manager for this project and the library project and the playground project. Today happens to be his birthday too. So happy birthday, Arash. So Arash has a tremendous work attitude, work ethic, the way he encounters the various situations we have on a day-to-day basis. He calmly oversees them and takes care of them. So it's a great job. Thank you. I also want to recognize City Engineer Sung Yang and our previous city engineer Bart Mejia for their guidance throughout this project. As you know, we're also dedicating the Lions Park Playground today. Just want to point out the designer for that project was David Wall's design, and the contractor was Handy Industrial. And again, the team that managed that project. So again, Arash, along with Irina Gurovich and Enrique Gomez, they all worked hard in delivering that project. Again, I want a big thanks to Alma Reyes and her team for putting this event together. So thank you all.
Thank you, Raja. One more round of applause for Raja and his team. I knew the project would be on time, but specifically on budget, because Raja is so cheap. Every time we want a little funding for a little something extra on our project, it's like squeezing blood out of a turnip. So I knew it would be on budget for sure. So now the moment we've been waiting for, we're going to share a video for you. And so it would have been delightful to have Norma here with us today in person, but the difficulty of flying, especially during the pandemic, prevented that from happening. So instead we have the next best thing. We have a short video to show you, and then hopefully she'll be able to join us virtually from New Jersey. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed.
Norma, the person, as the mayor, as the council member, as a leader in the community, was just the same as Norma in everyday life. She was always articulate, always personable, dynamic individual, and she was just the kind of person that anybody and everybody in the community could talk to, could relate to, just the kind of person that you would want in that capacity.
I don't think she ever thought of herself as the first female breaking the sex barrier. I think she thought of herself as contributing to the good of the community.
She was largely like Margaret Thatcher, a strong, dedicated woman who had ideals and beliefs, and we're going to make them happen. And as far as I'm concerned, she did.
I started getting involved in the world when I was only 4 years old. I learned the value of volunteering. I recommend volunteering tremendously. Volunteered all through my life, one thing after another. And when I became a mother and moved to Costa Mesa, I began to realize that what the city needed really was a city mother. We'd had city fathers for a long time. So I ran for city council after a while and became the first woman. So we now had city parents. And city parents look after all the children all the time. So it became a very bipartisan community. And then the other thing I really enjoyed was meeting people who were starting businesses in town, and they wanted the mayor to come and cut the ribbon to wish them well. That was always so much fun, because whenever you start anything new, a new adventure, you have wonderful ideas about what it's going to be like. And you work very hard to make it happen. And having the mayor come just kind of puts the cherry on the cake for a lot of people. One that I particularly enjoyed was Jack LaLanne. He was our exercise guru in the 50s and 60s, and most of us women exercised with him at 10 o'clock in the morning in their own homes because it was on television. And he bought the facility, the restaurant, the exercise gym on 19th and Fland Park, and he wanted to have that building opened almost as a new building because he was the new owner. So he asked if the mayor would come, and I went to the building. You could see what I was going to be cutting the rope with. Usually it's a pair of scissors, but in this case it's a 3-inch wide rope, which was just about what Jack LaLanne would want to have done. So I stood there ready to cut the ribbon rope, and he handed me a blowtorch. Well, I had never cut any ribbon with a blowtorch before, but they're first for everything. So I stood there, trying very hard to cut the ribbon. It didn't work. So one of the firemen that was holding the rope, looked over and said, "Ma'am, this is a fire retardant rope. It will never come even with a blowtorch." So with that, disgustedly, Jack LaLanne threw open the doors and said, "Let's go in and have refreshments." Carrots and celery sticks, I'm pretty sure we had, but they were enjoyable anyway.
I just want to say hello to everybody. I'm sorry I can't be there, but at least we can be together in some fashion. And for all the children who used to be children who are now grown-ups who are there, I'm hoping that you'll send me a note and let me know how you're doing, because I really care. And all of the people in City Council, all the people in the City of Costa Mesa that I had the opportunity to work with was just really, really special for me. And this honor is just the icing on the cake, the cherry on the top of the cake. So thank you all very much, and use this beautiful building to inspire more people and to just enjoy each other. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. You did it.
Oh, praise Jesus and Hadassah. I'm so glad that worked.
So tell everybody about writing notes, too. She mentioned writing notes, so tell people they can write notes.
Yes, so when you registered, hopefully you saw that we have these small notes that we've provided for you to please write a kind word or a favorite memory if you knew Norma personally, or just some words of inspiration for her, and then we'll mail them out to her just to show her the appreciation that we have for her enormous contributions to the city, and hopefully fill up her cup so that she's uplifted yet again. And so please don't forget to fill out the cards and submit them back to us, and we'll get them to her as soon as possible. I'm so glad we were able to get her. And so I think we're wrapping up here. I wanted to thank everybody for sharing this incredibly beautiful moment with us. We'll officially go outside and cut the ribbon shortly. I did want to give a really special thanks to the team in the city manager's office that put together the beautiful spread of food, the flowers, all of the decorations that you're seeing here today, the logistics, all of this that they've put together for us to enjoy today. They're just an incredible team. And so I just wanted to acknowledge Alma Reyes, Lydia Estacock, Francine Jimenez, Janet Hauser, Hadassah Jakar, she's our technical guru, Evis Torres, Dame Bora, of course, who's in charge of all of our CMTV, and Tony Dodero, who's in charge of our public information as well, and of course, Susan Price, who's our assistant city manager. But they really worked around the clock. They were here yesterday pulling weeds practically. And so just so that you would have a beautiful day today. And so I just wanted to thank them for their incredible dedication and putting together such a beautiful event for us all to enjoy. And if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. So before we go outside, please know that we will be walking down to the Lions Park Playground immediately following the ribbon cutting for brief presentation of ribbon cutting at the park. And then after the ribbon cutting at the park, if you would please join us back here for food and refreshments, that would be fantastic. And so thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be going outside to cut the ribbon, but again, I just want to say what an honor and privilege. I was choked up just listening to Norma. Thank you for being here and for making this so special today.
Again, my name is John Stevens. I'm the mayor of the great city of Costa Mesa. Isn't it something to be here at this beautiful park, which I just saw for the first time, and have children playing behind us? It's an absolute realization of a dream, and it, as we talked about when we were in the now Norma Hertzog Community Center, it's a long time coming, and this was the second phase of this project. We dedicated the library a couple years ago, and I remember when Katrina Foley and I were looking at the budget back then, and we're like, wait a minute, what about the park? What about the park? We got to get the money for the park. And by the grace of God, Connie Petrie Norris helped us out, as we said, in the community center with $1 million. And here we are with these beautiful children playing behind us. It is such an amazing day. And I want to give a special shout out. So this is, everybody knows this as what? Airplane Park. Airplane Park. So we have the beautiful airplane from the Korean War. It is a Korean War Panther jet that's been here forever. And where is Captain Bakula? Captain Bakula? Vic Bakula was instrumental in refurbishing this Panther jet, along with, and I've been waiting to say this, Pete the Pirate, Carolyn, Navy SEAL. Thank you, Pete. Thank you for your service to the country and to the children of Costa Mesa. They'll remember this forever. Thank you very much. It's truly a great day for the city. This is the completion of the community center and the playground, and it's the marks the final chapter in phase 2 of this Lions Park project that we've been working on for so many years. And we actually, as was referenced earlier, we passed it in a historic, unanimous joint session of the Parks and Rec Commission, the Planning Commission, and the City Council. And a project like this takes a lot of green lights, and one red light will stop it. And many council members and councils have been working on this for many years. So thank you to them and to the staff and to everybody who has done everything for this. So we have this library behind us. That was phase 1. It's a 23,615 square foot library, the Donald Dungan Library, which we dedicated all the way back pre-pandemic, May 24th, 2019. And here we are with the new Lions Park playground, which features our airplane, a swing set, a zip line. I'm not sure what the weight limit is on that zip line, but I think I'm going to find out. A double duo seesaws, and importantly, our historic, as I said, Panther jet that our families and children will enjoy for years to come. The improvements also include new restrooms, open lawn areas, a modern playground equipment, and rubberized surface, as you can see, and sand to play on for the children. Other park infrastructure upgrades include a storm drain and irrigation improvements, new site lighting, landscaping, and concrete pathways. Finally, listen to this, because we are a tree city, are we not? We're a tree city. 225 new trees have been planted in Lions Park as part of this beautiful project. Let's give it up for the trees. So we have 3 folks that are going to speak today that are all instrumental in this project, and it's very dear to them. And then we're going to cut the ribbon on 3 this time. We're going to cut that ribbon. First, I want to call up our Parks, Arts, and Community Services Director, Jason Minter, for a few words.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members, and thank you everybody for being here. The opening of this park is the culmination of a multi-year effort, as you know, to complete this project and provide all of these different amenities to the community, to the west side, and to all Costa Mesa families. For those of you that don't know, July is Parks Make Life Better Month, as we will be taking a proclamation to the City Council this coming Tuesday. Should I start over? All right. But parks do make life better, and as evidenced by the children playing behind me, it is so amazing to see all of the kids out here. It's great to have the fences down. It is going to be a great summer with Lions Park open. So thank you, City Council. Thank you to the Mayor, to Supervisor Foley, to everybody that helped participate in making this a reality. As the Parks and Rec Director, I'm delighted to represent Parks and Rec programs, and thank you to the community for coming out to support them all. So thank you very much.
Okay, we have three more folks. I like to hold this better anyway. Three more folks that are going to say a few words. Arliss Reynolds, Manuel Chavez, and then our supervisor, former mayor, the great Katrina Foley. First up, Arliss and Manny are both Estancia Eagles. They represent the west side. First up, from District 5, Arliss Reynolds. And it's her birthday.
In case you didn't hear that, it's my birthday. Thank you. It is amazing to be in this space. I'm sure you've all had the experience when you're sort of revisiting a place you've been as a child. It always feels so much smaller, right? This park is so much bigger than when I was a kid, and that is just incredible. I was blown away when I turned the corner. So congratulations to our staff who did an amazing job getting this project done through the last year. When I had the honor, what was the date, Raja? March 27th, 2019, I think, 2016, 2017? 2017, I think, yes. My very first vote as a Parks Commissioner was for this project, so it's really incredible to see the whole process from start to finish. It's amazing to be here today. And one of the first things that I got to do when I was elected as a council member was look at some of the preliminary designs of this park. And there were two really, really important things that we emphasized, I think, across the board on this park. One was no fences around this park. This is a park that is open to the public, a place where everyone is welcome, and the airplane must stay. This airplane was much bigger when I was a child, much, much bigger. I remember being making the accomplishment of getting up onto the wing there. That was quite a feat once upon a time. I'll be honest, I'm never sure if I actually made it up to the back. That was always pretty frightening, and I'm a little bit anxious about that now. I'll get there. Maybe not today. There's too many cameras. But again, this is just a beautiful space, and I was looking around to see. There was one person I wanted to acknowledge that we haven't heard from yet. And that's one of our planning commissioners, Russell Toller. Russell, are you here by any chance? Okay, well, he may be around. Russell is one of our planning commissioners, and he and I have worked really closely on sort of ideas for Costa Mesa and how we really push to make Costa Mesa family-friendly and kid-friendly. And one of the metrics of a kid-friendly space is kids in the space. So when you turn the corner, when you look behind me, I think we have a smashing success here. It is amazing to see all the children here. So I'm so happy for Costa Mesa. I'm so happy for our West Side community. It's been a long wait for this park to reopen. And I know, whereas Councilmember Chavez, thank you, we'll expand on that story as well. So Councilmember.
Thank you. I'll put this mic here just to make it easier for myself. So, thank you all for being here today. This is probably one of the biggest things I've done on council, just activating this space one more time and rejuvenating this area of town that has for so long felt forgotten. You know, this entire plan, the Herzog Center, the new library, Lions Park, it's all in reference, and it's all the culmination of a simple thing in Costa Mesa. We care about our future, and our future is our kids. So many kids now have the opportunity to go play in a great new park next to a bright, beautiful library. And hopefully one of them will be inspired, like Kevin Reynolds, to read all the books they can during that summer program. I know I was. I had a routine when I was growing up. See, my parents weren't very affluent, but my mom had a routine every Saturday since I was preschool till I was at Ray. So from about 4 till 9. Every Saturday morning, we'd go to McDonald's, where she would buy me a Happy Meal, and she wouldn't eat one. It was just for me to have something to, like, get a little toy, have something to do. Then afterwards, she'd say, all right, we had fast food, time to go work out on the playground, burn out the calories, make sure you're healthy. And after that, after I was burnt out playing in this awesome Lions Park, I'd go to the library and get books for the week. That was something that my sister couldn't do when she was, see, she's 12 now, but during that time, we were building this park. And she always felt that sense of like, but I didn't get to do this. I didn't get a chance to do this. I didn't get a chance to go to the library like you did and go to the park like you did. And I reminded her, you were that sacrifice year. You're that portion of Costa history that said, I'm going to sacrifice a bit of myself for the future. So now when she comes to the library, she says, you know what? I didn't get to play here, but other kids will play here. And I'll tell them I did it for you. And that's something we could all aspire to, knowing we're paving the way for the future. We're paving the way for the next generation so that they can have the best memories possible and the best experience possible. And that's the Costa Mesa way. And I don't think there's anyone that really embodies that Costa Mesa way better than our current board supervisor, Christina Foley. So if you please come up and share a few words about your story on this park.
Be careful, I don't want you to trip over.
Oh, okay. Got it? Okay, well, I just have a really quick short story. You know, for more than a decade, this space was inaccessible to the community. For more than a decade, there was crime occurring in this space. And today I wore my flip-flops because one day I was out here with Officer Cover. And we were touring the area. And she said, oh, council member, be careful. You shouldn't be wearing your flip-flops in the park. And I said, why? I wear my flip-flops everywhere. And she said, because there are needles in this park. And that day, I said, we are closing down this park and we are moving forward to improve this area. And our council had the courage during the pandemic to continue to fund this project. And that funding is why we can wear flip-flops in the park again. So thank you all, and let's play.
All right, thank you very much. Before we cut the ribbon, which is the next thing we're going to do, I just want to acknowledge 3 other volunteers that Captain Bacala made us aware of. Sue Lester, Cindy Brenneman, and Beth Rafakis. Thank you very much, and I'm sure many others that help. Thank you for those words. And by the way, Manny, your sister can come out now. She's well below the weight limit. So, all right, let's cut the ribbon. 1, 2, 3.